Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a drama mystery film, The Wonder. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The film begins on a set where the narrator tells the audience about the significance of stories. The camera sweeps around the area to show the period setting created within the set where the narrative begins. The year is 1862, decades after the Great Famine that has permanently left scars across the Irish landscape. There sits an English nurse named Lib, traveling to Ireland despite the ongoing resentment to investigate a young girl. The night has come down when Lib arrives at the inn where she's supposed to stay. Mrs. Innkeeper takes Lib to her room and explains that the young girl's family has no space for her, so she and a nun will have to stay in the inn. The following day, Mr. Innkeeper takes Lib to a self-appointed and all-male committee, where she also meets the nun. The men inform Lib and the nun that the young girl has lived well, miraculously without food since her 11th birthday. So they hired her and the nun to monitor the watch to determine how the young girl will survive without food. Lib and the nun will take turns watching Anna to ensure she doesn't eat any food. Based on the committee's estimate, Anna has stopped eating for over 4 months, which is impossible in Lib's professional opinion. However, she is hired to watch Anna and instructed not to share any information with the nun about their observations, as it will jeopardize their task. After the meeting, one of the panels, the doctor, informs Lib that they hired a nun to observe because Anna's family is comfortable with someone who is part of the church. The doctor then escorts Lib to the place of the profoundly religious family where Anna lives. As they arrive, the doctor and Lib wait for the curious visitors to leave. Lib spends the time interviewing Anna's mother, who claims that Anna has been well and healthy for a person who has not been eating for months. Lib suggests monitoring the watch and Anna in a hospital, but the mother firmly refuses. The visitors interrupt the awkward encounter and insist on donating to the poor box for the trouble they caused. As they leave, Lib goes upstairs, where she finally meets the miraculous fasting girl named Anna. After introducing herself, Lib promptly checks up on her and notes her observations. Anna appears in good health and claims she survives through manna from heaven. Anna believes that Lib has come to ensure she doesn't eat, but Lib clarifies that she was hired to watch how she behaves. Lib joins the family during lunch, where she points out Anna's brother in a family portrait. The mother claims that her son has been kept by God. Lib shares that she had been married for less than a year before becoming widowed. Later that day, Lib waits for Anna to finish her prayer before exchanging shifts with the nun. Lib returns to the inn, where she shares her frustration with Mr. Innkeeper, who is also a part of the committee, about the possibility that food is secretly being shoveled into Anna's mouth. Mr. Innkeeper tells her to prove her claims so she can return home. That night, Lib takes some kind of opium as a coping mechanism before pricking herself in the form of self-harm. The following day, Lib starts by taking her shift and walking down with Anna in the massive field near Anna's family's house. After walking for fresh air, they return to Anna's room, where Lib inspects every corner, looking for any hidden compartment where Anna might have kept food. Anna is unbothered by this, shares pictures of female religious figures, and mentions the importance of chastity. Later that day, a photographer takes a picture of Anna to remember her legacy. After that, Lib walks with the doctor and insists on having an isolated and quiet observation with Anna alone, without the presence of her parents. Lib senses the presence of Anna's parents might be affecting Anna's belief system and possibly discreetly feeding her food. The doctor reluctantly agrees with Lib's suggestion. Later that day, Lib meets a journalist named William, who is also staying at the inn. William shares that he needs to interview Anna for his big piece. However, Lib informs him that the doctor ordered that Anna should not take any visitors. So William suggests interviewing Lib instead, who tells him about a patient's confidentiality. After eating, Lib returns to her work and asks Anna's older sister about the last food Anna ate. The sister replies that it's the sacramental bread, since Anna's birthday and the Holy Communion were on the same day. Lib notes the information in her notebook. Later that night, Anna's family says goodnight while her mother kisses her. While Anna is asleep, Lib goes through Anna's stuff once again. She hears something shaking inside a figurine, and when she investigates it, she finds a lock of hair hidden. So the following day after Anna finishes her prayer, Lib gives her a nickname Nan, before apologizing for going through her stuff. Lib returns to the inn later that day after her shift, where she spends her time doing her night routine, displaying the pair of baby socks, before taking a tablespoon of the opioid and pricking her finger before tasting her blood. This is Lib's way of coping with her traumas. The following day, the mother says good morning to Nan with a kiss, before leaving her daughter with Lib. Lib does the usual checkup on Nan to ensure she is still healthy. Later that day, William begs for Lib's help again, as he needs to interview Nan for his publication. Lib cannot help but share her observation on how nothing but water has passed Nan's lips. The following day, Lib forbids Nan's family from getting near her, even forbidding her mother to kiss her goodnight. Lib decides to take this desperate action to ensure that no one secretly shoves food into Nan's mouth. As the morning arrives the following day, Lib accepts the glass of whiskey from William as she's frustrated that she doesn't know how to unveil the truth. William insists for the third time that he sees Nan for a new observation. Lib and William share the thought that the family is secretly feeding Nan. Now that Lib has forbidden them from touching Nan, the truth should come out soon, unless they confess. However, the family will be driven from their home and face the humiliation of fraud. William tells her that Nan will not bear to see her family in that case. Then he leaves. Later that day, Lib faces the question of the town's priest, who is also part of the committee. It turns out that the mother has asked for his help after Lib has forbidden the family from touching Nan. As the family's priest, Father only wants peace, but Lib rebuts that it is nonsense because they allowed visitors to see Nan first. However, Father clarifies that Lib is only hired to watch. After that encounter, while Lib is checking up on Nan, she notices something. She instructs Nan to spit it out. When she does, Lib becomes really concerned, seeing the tooth from the bloodied spit. Nan doesn't say anything or express any reaction, but just stares at Lib. Later that day, while walking back to the inn, Lib runs into Nan's sister, who shares that she and William were childhood friends. However, William went to college, leaving his family, who decided to lock themselves up in their cabin when the famine came to save themselves from the embarrassment of dropping dead on the streets. Lib realizes it explains why William wants to talk to Nan, as his family dies of hunger while a young girl refuses to eat. Lib confesses to William what she has just learned and tries to comfort him. However, William grabbed her face and slides his smelly tongue into her mouth. Shortly after, they laugh at their 2-minute workout. Lib then shares the most intimate thing in her life. She had a baby that lived for 3 weeks and 2 days, and her husband, who may as well have died, left her shortly after their child passed away. The following day, Lib points out to Nan how she prays 33 times daily with the same prayer. Nan explains that it is a sacred number representing the Lord's age when he rose from the dead. They then meet William, indicating that Lib has finally agreed with his request to interview Nan. Later that day, while the nun watches Nan's sister reading the Bible to her, Lib confronts her parents. It turns out that Nan's getting weaker, pale, and tired. However, the mother argues that Nan has been well for the past months, until Lib has forbidden them to touch their daughter. So Lib goes to the doctor to report, and pleads to stop the watch for Nan's safety. However, the doctor denies her claims, and shuts her up from giving a diagnosis for being a nurse. He clarifies that she is being paid to watch, not to intervene. Lib returns to her shift, frustrated that no one is paying attention to Nan's health and safety. So Lib has no choice but to resort to desperate measures by forcing a tube into Nan's throat to feed her. However, she soon returns to her senses and removes them, as she realizes that what she's doing is misplaced anger. Lib immediately apologizes for her behavior and impulsiveness. Later that day, Nan suddenly falls to her knees while walking with Lib and William. Lib sees it as a clear sign of weakness due to hunger, but Nan refuses to return to the house. She takes them to a nearby body of water, which the townspeople call the Holy Well. William recognizes it as he used to go there, and recites a prayer with Nan. He then faces Lib and shares that he has published his article, Murdered by Degrees. Lib's worries intensify after Nan falls to the ground, so William carries her until they are near the house. Lib takes over and helps Nan walk to the home, where Nan's worried mother welcomes them. After putting Nan to sleep, Lib returns to the inn, where she embraces William, tired of telling everybody that Nan needs to eat, or she will die in no time. The following day, it can be seen that Nan's physical health has gone downhill. She has bags under her eyes, chapped lips, and can't even stand alone. That same day, Nan's condition worsens, as she starts coughing uncontrollably. The following day, while eating breakfast, Lib realizes something. She walks hurriedly to Nan's house and confronts her about the manna from heaven. It turns out the mother feeds Nan pieces of chewed-up food from her mouth. Nan tries to deny it, but at last, she has no choice but to confess the holy secret. That is why the mother kisses Nan good morning and good night every day. That's for her to secretly pass off the chewed-up food from her mouth like birds do. Now Nan says that her prayer 33 times daily while fasting is to release a soul from hell, her brothers. Tears stream down her face as Nan shares that her brother is burning in hell because they have had an incestuous relationship since she was 9. As she hears Nan's story, Lib realizes that Nan is doing it because of a sense of service towards her late brother's untimely death, for which her parents had made her guilty. With her patience gradually reaching its limits, Lib decides to tell the committee the truth about the thing that kept Nan alive for months, the so-called manna from heaven. Lib begs the committee to stop the watch and make every effort to keep Nan alive. However, they call her claims lies and bring up William's article. They then ask the nun if she has observed such a claim, which she denies, staying faithful to the secrecy of such acts to prove her unwavering faith. Nonetheless, Lib firmly stands by the truth. The committee then brings out Nan and her family, whom they ask about the accusation. Nan looks at Lib before denying the claim, lying in front of everyone for her family's sake. Even Nan's parents, especially her mother, cannot hide their shock that Lib revealed the truth. The committee then instructs Lib to continue with the watch, so she has no choice but to oblige with the order and nurses Nan until she dies. Lib holds her tears as she says this to them. The following day, Nan's condition continues to worsen. This time, she begins vomiting. Lib bluntly tells the mother that Nan is dying, but the mother believes her daughter is chosen by the Lord. Nonetheless, she refuses to feed her child once more, as she thinks it is for Nan's salvation, so her children will be in heaven with the Lord. That same day, Lib asks for William's help to save Nan from her family by taking her away, and together, they will all live a new life. Later that day, Lib faces Anna, the fasting girl people believed, and the poor daughter who was convinced by her parents that her brother's death was her fault. Lib then uses her hallucination to tell her that once Anna dies, Nan will wake up. A new little girl with no bad past will begin a new life. Lib then takes her to the Holy Well, where Anna bids her goodbye to the living world to be with the Lord. Once Nan awakens, Lib feeds her food, before leaving her to return to the house. She notes in her notebook for the last time before burning the home, along with the memories of her past. That includes the opioid, the little baby socks, and the needle. After the fire incident, Lib hands in her notebook to the committee, who questions her on how the house burned into flames. Lib lies, telling them that her dress knocked over the lamp when she was frantic while reviving Nan. All left behind was ashes, and the ruins will become a shrine to remember Anna, who was supposed to be a saint since the Dark Ages. The committee then orders Lib to remain in Ireland until the head constable decides she may leave, and so Lib stays there until it is proven that no one is to blame for the untimely fire that killed Anna. This also saves the self-appointed committee from any blame for having kept Anna starving for such a long period, and observing her as a subject of interest to build some new stories in order to back up their belief system. After proving she is not guilty, Lib returns to England, reuniting with Nan and William. They enter Nan's new world and life as the Cheshire family. The film ends with the narrator looking straight at the camera, while repeating in out a reference to a metaphorical cage. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.